On receipt, we process your test target using an X-Rite automatic spectrophotometer, which converts the colour information from your print into a 2 megabyte file called an ICC custom printer profile. A typical ICC printer profile file name looks like this. So it's P600 gloss, which is the paper type. Obviously P600 is the type of printer. We've got the date of the profile, which in this case is 28th of the 9th 18, and the customer, which in this case is us, Marriott.icc. Now this ICC custom printer profile is emailed back to you immediately with a link to online instructions to easily install your custom printer profile to your Mac or PC operating system. In the next video, we're going to see exactly what this involves. Workflow to install and test your custom printer profile. Now, our custom printer profile has been emailed to us, and there it is on the desktop, and it's the best place to put it, I think. The other thing we've actually got from the email is our colour checker image, which is going to enable us to see whether our profiling has been successful. So we got the issue here of how do we get this into the system. Now we're going to demonstrate this on a Mac, but the PC instructions are actually much easier, and the instructions for that are on the email that we will send you. Quite simply, if you're on a PC, you click on the profile, you right click it, and the dialog box on the right hand side of the cursor, right at the top, it will say install profile, and that's it. It's very, very simple on a PC. On a Mac, it's a little bit more involved, but you know, it's no big deal. So I've got a little MacBook Air that I'm working with here, and it doesn't display Mac HD, Mac hard drive logo. So to find it, we do a search, and we've got Mac HD at the top, and there it is. So we double click it, and we're into the Macintosh hard drive. Now what we want to do now is find a thing called users. Forget that, here we go, let's go back, there we go. Users, and that's me, John Reed. We'll double click that. Now everything else here, to go further into the library, they've had a clever little way of stopping us getting into the library. And what we do is we click on go, and we press the Alt button, and can you see library is exposed there? So we bring the cursor down while we're holding down the Alt button, and we click on library. There we are. We then go to Colour Sync. So double click, whoops, no, there we are. Library, Colour Sync, and there we are. That's the folder where all the profiles go. All we've got to do now is drag and drop our new profile into the folder. Can you see the way we've described it? It's a P600 because that's the printer. It's gloss because that is the paper, gloss. That's the date of the profile, 28th of September. 28th of September, so reasonably recent date. I always like to use very recent profiles. That's us, and then it's .icc. Now this little 2 megabyte file will have been emailed to you. So we've taken it from the desktop. Let's pick it up. We poke it into the profiles, and then we can close off. We'll close off the folder. Now what we now do is we make sure that Photoshop wasn't on at the time. So let's go to Photoshop. Now that little triangle tells us it was on. Can you see that? So we have to restart Photoshop. Because if we just start using Photoshop straight away, this is Elements, but it could be Photoshop Elements, it could be Photoshop, it could be Lightroom, it could be any of the applications that that printer profiles work with. So we've turned off the Photoshop now, and now what we're going to do is we're going to start it back up again. Let's find Photoshop here. Here we go. So Photoshop Elements. I find this is a really nice little program. It's not expensive, and the beauty of this, I think, is that you buy the program. I think it's brilliant. So here we go. Now that is all there is to installing the custom printer profile. It's as easy as that. What we now have to do is we have to test whether the profile is any good or not. First thing to do is we want to make sure that we want to make sure that that we've got a perfect nozzle check. What we then want to do is once we've got a perfect nozzle check, we put exactly the same paper that we created the custom profile for, which in this case is gloss. We're going to put that gloss paper in the printer, and what we're going to do is we're going to take our calibration image and put it into Photoshop. Now, I don't think we need to see all the guides, so let's get rid of those guides. Now, you can get this calibration image easily. Well, I mean, we give it to you, but you can get this calibration image by clicking on the link below this video, and we'll send this to you. Also, we can send you, if you give us your full postal address, we can send you free of charge the certified accurate calibration print. Now, this is the important way, this is the important thing. You're able to check that your printer is accurate, completely independent of any other device. We're not looking at the monitor, we're not looking at anything else. We're simply making sure that the printer is accurate with respect to this particular image printed out in an absolutely accurate way. And we'll post this to you and you'll be able to test your accuracy, of course. So we've got our calibration image up on screen. We're simply now able to go File, Print. I'm sure you've done this many times, but we'll go through it anyway. So we go P600 printer, A4. Let's have it the actual size. There we go. We go more options in the case of Photoshop Elements. Color management. Photoshop Elements determines colors. There it is. There's our printer profile that we've just installed. Now, I like to delete other printer profiles of our type. So perhaps further down the line, I'll probably be getting rid of these other P600 profiles because they're quite old profiles. Look how far back we go. But in this case, we're selecting this particular profile. Now we can select perceptual or relative intent. It's entirely up to you. You can select perceptual or relative. I think I'm going to go with perceptual. They put it on top for a reason. Now, most people go with this as a default. You can always print out as perceptual or as relative, and you can put the two prints side by side. You may prefer relative. Don't touch saturation. Don't touch absolute colorimetric. You can get the full explanation of these terms easily on free tutorials. I'm going to be giving you a link to an excellent tutorial at the end of this this series, and you'll be able to learn all about saturation and absolute. But as far as I'm concerned, you go with the default perceptual rendering intent. You might prefer to go with relative. It's entirely up to you. There's not much difference. So we can now go to click OK, and then we can go to print. Now, once you've printed the image, let's go to print, incidentally, because this is very important. We've got the P600. We've got a preset here, but let's go through. Paper size, no, it's A4. So we set it to A4 and we go down here to print settings. Now these print settings have to be absolutely the same as the print settings you used when you first created your printer profile. So if you recall my previous little on-screen tutorial, we selected Epson Premium Glossy, not any of these others. We had Photo Black in circuit, we had colour off, no colour adjustment, highest resolution, no high speed. Now what I've done here is, so I've set this in stone because this is going to be my production method from now on in, and I don't want to keep on messing around down here for every print I do. I just want to check that my preset is okay and that's it. So what we've done is I've created a preset. Let's create another preset. So we say save current settings as preset, and we say P600, this is the way I normally do it, gloss, best quality, and if I like, I can put today's date just to remind me what sort of time. Wait a minute, it's 19th of October 2018. So there I've got all my essential information. The P600, it's a gloss paper, best quality possible, 19th of the 10th, 18th, and that pretty well says it all. One thing I could say actually is I could say 5760 no HS. That's probably a little bit more relevant because of what we've done here. So P600 gloss 5760 no high speed, today's date, which pretty well ties it in with the date of the profile if we'd have had it created around this time. Okay, so we click OK to that. We've now got a new preset that we can use all the time. And we can press print, and then we'll go to our next video, which will actually show the process of comparing our printed calibration image to the calibration image that our supplier has provided for us.